Hey everyone, it's Nat, and we're here for week 2 for Stephanie Capote's Tarot for Manifestation, and we are going to be going over chapter 2. And I'm glad I had this as a catch-up week because I learned that Kyle, my horse, he was supposed to get gelded on the 21st, which is something that I had budgeted money for. And it turns out he's a cryptorchid, which means no easy gelding surgery. He's got to have a more invasive surgery. Instead of spending $600, I'm going to be spending $3,000. So I kind of stuck my head in the sand this week and didn't keep up with my reading really, which thankfully I had started it last week. But I just kind of stuck my head in the sand. It doesn't look like anyone's here. All right, I'll give it a few minutes. If nobody shows up, we'll start a reading sprint at the 10-minute mark and go from there. So I'll just read a few of my favorite quotes in chapter 2. So chapter 2 is setting your intentions. Everything that happens in the universe starts with intention, Deepak Chopra. On the first page, each step is sacred from preparation to completion, and your intention weaves its energy into everything you do. I really liked that. I feel like when you're manifesting something, it should always be in the back of your mind. It should always be present no matter what you're doing. I don't care if you're entering data for work. It should be back here and you're constantly putting energy towards it. So step 1 is acknowledgement of your creativity. And I liked this. Shifting your perception of your own sense of creativity is a great beginning exercise to expanding what you believe is possible for you. Everyone has things that they think they're good at and things that they think they're not good at. And for me, I'm really good at coming up with ideas. I'm not so great at drawing. You could ask me to draw a stick figure and I would figure out a way to screw it up. But I am really great at kind of pulling something out of nothing. And it's almost like a superpower for me at this point. One of the stories that Stephanie told in this book was, I noticed my inner monologue was repeating, "How is this house so filthy? I try so hard to keep it clean and organized." Let's break that sentence down. The looping truth I was repeating was, I try so hard to keep it clean. And that was my reality. Once I noticed the unhelpful thought, I was able to shift it to, I'm so proud for keeping my home so organized and clean. It's so easy to maintain this level of cleanliness. And I think that really speaks to kind of our internal voice and how we talk to ourselves. And I think it's really important that we are as kind to ourselves as we are to other people. You would never walk into someone's home that was messy and think, wow, you're really slacking. You would think, wow, this person is really busy or they're really struggling. How can I help them or lighten their load? And I think that we owe ourselves the same grace. We owe it to ourselves to look at our house and go, wow, I think our first instinct is to go, wow, I'm a piece of shit. I can't keep my house clean. But instead go, wow, I was really struggling this week and it's represented in my home. I should do some self-care, maybe throw on a face mask and do some dishes. I really struggled this week. I have had busy back-to-back weekends. And so today I asked my mom to help come clean my house for an hour. And I worked in the living room and the bedroom, and she worked on my kitchen. And we got my dishwasher unloaded and got all the new dishes in, um, all the dishes that were stacked in my sink in the dishwasher. And I was really grateful for that. And it really helped me. Sorry, I keep looking because Gordy's digging under the couch for something. Um, it made me feel better and was kind of an act of self-care. And I changed my sheets and washed my duvet cover, and um, that was really helpful. So one of the things I did in step 2, permission to do, have, and be even more. Um, she has this permission slip. The universe hereby grants me name permission to manifest every single thing my soul desires in this lifetime. And what I did is I had left some space in my journal and I wrote that on the front page. So this journal is the universe granting me permission to manifest every single thing my soul desires in this lifetime. Um, and having a journal that you enjoy writing in is really important. I have been having so much fun filling these pages. Um, and it's something that I want to do. I want to write in. I want to put stickers in it. I want to fill it up and really make it my own. So I've been enjoying this journey so far. Uh, so step 3 is setting an intention for your journey with this book. An intention is a goal with a soul. Mariah Simmons. Um, And so my short-term goal right now is to raise the money I need for Kyle's surgery. So I've been working on that the last 3 days, and I come up with a really great idea that I think is going to be really successful, and I'm really excited about it. So I think that's important too. Being excited about something really helps with the manifestation. All right, no one is here. So the exercise in this chapter is cards for manifestation, the significator, the card of intention. And I chose, of course, it's not within easy reach. I chose the 9 of Earth from N.J. Cullinane's The Enchanted Four Hawks Tarot. Gordy thinks it is time for dinner, and he is about 2 hours off, and we haven't even had time change here. So this is the card I chose. This is the little fairy in all of her abundance. Focus. Okay, it doesn't want to focus. Usually if I put it in front of my face, it'll focus. Why are you not focusing? Regardless. So this is the little fairy on the wolf's head that looks more like a fox to me, to be totally honest, in all of her abundance. And that is what I chose. So no one is here joining me this week. Looks like chat is empty and no one's watching, so this will be one for people to watch back later. I am going to start a sprint, and so feel free to dig out your book and take this time to start reading. And I am going to catch up for next week. I'm just talking away and nobody can hear me. And everybody's just listening to the wind. All right, there we go. Did anyone read? Does anyone have any thoughts on chapter 2, setting your intentions? Did anyone choose their significator card? Let me know. There's 3 of you watching. So what I did is I finished reading chapter 2. Ooh, the Empress. That's right. Hey, Tracy, do you want to jump on? I hate talking to myself. It's better if I feel like I'm talking to someone else. If you want to jump on, I'll send you a link. One of the things that okay, that's fine. Tracy says she can't join us today. One of the things that I did is after the Significator card of intention exercise, she has guidance for you on your unique journey. And Stephanie says, one simple manifestation technique I learned along the way was rooting myself in gratitude. And she tells the story of the first time I practiced it, I was supposed to think about something luxurious I already had that I was grateful for. My first thought was of an expensive bottle of Byredo perfume that I loved that was almost empty. And then she goes on to say how her brother found it on sale and her mom paid for it, etc. So what I did is this wasn't a journaling exercise, but I chose to make it one. I did a page of things that I am grateful for. So that is what I worked on. And I also on so I did the gratitude and then meet your future self. So Stephanie talks about envisioning who she was or who she wanted to be and how it didn't reflect of who she was. Thank you. I love my journal. I had it is handmade, so it is hand bound. It was a little bit of a splurge. It was $55, but it is handmade by someone who sent me videos as she was making it and pictures, and I got to choose everything in this journal, and it makes me so excited to use it. I really wanted something special for this journey, and I felt like I couldn't find what I was looking for when I was looking for it. So I put a request out in the Witchy Aesthetics marketplace if anybody made journals, and somebody replied and did, and I looked at her existing work and it was beautiful. So I did it because I wanted this to be special. So that is what I did. So back to the future self. So she's describing how she sees herself in this future that she wants to manifest for herself. She saw herself as a combination of modern day Halloween queen Morticia Adams, a sexy goth mama with 2 kids and an incredibly romantic and loving husband, living in her dream Victorian mansion, a la one of her idols, Louise Bourgeois. And so what I did is I took a page out of my journal And I did it a little backwards. I did my future self and then my gratitude. I have two intentions. Excuse me, my short-term intention is that I raise enough money for Kyle's surgery. And then my long-term intention is that I would like to open up a tarot store a la like Tarot Arts in Pasadena. I don't know if anybody knows of them. They do online sales as well. They have a mixture of indie and mass market decks. They went there for anyone who reads tarot. It is our version of heaven. They have a opened handleable deck for almost every single deck. So you're able to actually look at the deck, sit down with it, look at the cards, play with it, see if it resonates for you. Some people need that. Some people are picky about what they buy. I was like a kid in a candy store and I was like, I'll have this and that. And I managed to spend just over $100, which, if you know tarot, is not a lot of money. It was like 3 decks. So 2 decks. Maybe it was under 100. Maybe I spent under 100. I don't remember. So I just wrote like a whole page worth about what my life would look like and what I wanted my store to look like and what it would contain and the hours I would be open and what my life would look like. And so I spent time on that as well. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed going through that journey and envisioning that and how much I would earn and what it would pay for and everything like that. So, um, so that was a future self. And that was a journaling exercise. So I didn't just make that one up. But there are definitely passages in this book where I think, wow, that's not an exercise that she outlined, but that's something that I want to dive into a little bit more. And then the rest of chapter 2, she talks about tarot archetypes for manifestation, the magician, the aces, wheel of fortune, the star, etc. And then she tells the final heading of this chapter is the process in action from overly specific to surrendering the outcome. And she tells a story about, as a tarot reader, a lot of people come to her, well, all tarot readers in general. Oh, is so and so going to come back? Are we twin flames? Blah, 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 which is exactly the type of stuff Tracy doesn't want to do if she's still here. No, bitch, he's dumb. You're worth more. So that wraps up chapter 2. And I think I'm going to do one more reading sprint and start on chapter 3 and see if, just because this is time and I set aside time to do this, even though no one's here, Tracy's here. Tracy, you count as people. So 5 more minutes though on our little break and then we'll get into it. Oh, Tracy's doing her journaling. Great. We will, I'm going to read chapter 3 because I didn't do that this week. But I'll read. You journal during our sprints. And my mom watches my channel and she always gets on me. She's like, I don't know who you're replying to because you don't put the question on the screen. She's not as sassy as that. I know. Well, I mean, I was kind of having a pity party about Kyle and his hidden testicle that's going to cost me $3,000. Which for that, I am going to ask the vet clinic if they can put his testicles in a jar for me to take home because I feel like for $3,000, I deserve a treat. I deserve a physical, a physical remembrance of the $3,000 that I spent. People think I'm weird, but whatever. I will put it on my altar as a gift to Epona and Hecate. So one for each goddess. And my mom's going to watch this and be like, I can't believe you talked about your horse's testicles. Whatever. It is currently my biggest problem. So what are you going to do? I'm going to talk about it. So, and I didn't have a bookmark, but I found this extra card from the Children of Ostara or Letha. I forget which one's the animal deck, and it's the Emperor. I feel like that is really good energy to bring to manifestation, like the Emperor. Like, I got this. This is child's play. Why not? Exactly, Tracy. Why not? Why can't I have my horse's testicles in a jar? It's not weird. It's a little weird, but I'm okay with it. I'd like Gordy's, but he still has his, and there's no reason. Oh, you meant to talk about them. All right, talking about them is normal. Keeping them is weird. I'd keep Gordy's too, but he still has his, and I don't need to take his away because he's not going to turn into a 1,500-pound stallion. And his quality of life is not worse for having them, unlike horses. Stallions have worse quality of life. Not because they have balls. Well, because they have balls, because they can't go in group turnout situations and all that. It's the jar. The jar you have to ponder. I'm gonna give them as offerings to Epona and Hecate. So one ball for each goddess to look after my horse, who apparently needs it. All right, 1 minute, then we'll start. I'm fully enjoying this. I did, so on my drive to see Kyle and back yesterday, I did listen to chapters 2 and 3 twice. I listened to it once on the way there and once on the way back. So I did listen to them. And that is the third time I've listened to them because I got all the way to chapter 6 just listening through at some point. But I find listening to it and then reading the hard copy, it sinks in. If I just listen to it, it's just noise. And I'm so good at disassociating, especially when I drive, that like I can listen to a whole audiobook and not know what the hell is going on because my mind has just bloop, flown away. And I do the same thing reading. If I'm reading, I will find that my eyes are moving and I'm going through a whole page, but I have not retained anything. So I have to do both by listening and reading. I love audiobooks. I just don't retain them because I have ADD in my brain. Goes on vacation. All right, here we go. We're doing this. All right, welcome back, everybody. I made it through 2 pages. I got distracted by my friend Marion telling me that her grief journey oracle, which if you're not aware of, is available for sale. And we got into a big discussion about it. So I got distracted by my social media. But long story short, I'm going to be the proud owner of 2 decks of the Grief Journey Oracle. One is going to be mine, and one I'm going to give to a friend who just lost her grandmother. And if she doesn't want it, it's going to go up in the raffles that I am doing to help raise money for Kyle. So, in chapter 3, The Shadow Knows, everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. Carl Jung. Right out of the gate, the law of attraction states that like attracts like, leading many of us to try with all of our might to be happy and upbeat about our manifestations, ignoring our underlying subconscious beliefs. This is known as toxic positivity. It is impossible to love and light your way to manifesting your desires if your subconscious believes differently regarding your self-worth and what you deserve. I thought that was pretty impactful. Another part in the section, Projection of Shadow Aspects, Recognizing the Mirrors in Others, we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. Anais Nin. The shadow, in being instinctive and irrational, is prone to psychological projection, in which a perceived personal inferiority is recognized as a perceived moral deficiency in someone else. I've definitely had the realization that there are things I dislike in others, and that is a direct reflection of things I dislike in myself, very much so. And that is really annoying for me, actually, to look at someone and be like, I don't like when they do that, realizing that I do that. Ooh, ouch. That is, and I don't like that feeling at all. Does that make me a better person, or does it make me want to be a better person? Also, no. So, I guess what it is I need to learn to give other people grace because I'm not going to change it about myself. So I can't expect them to change it about themselves. Double standard. And that is as far as I got before I was derailed. But I am very much looking forward to this chapter. It's going to be a big, meaty chapter. I mean, it is almost 20 pages long. So I'm looking forward to digging into this. And after I end this live, I will probably dig into it some more. Is anyone still around? It says 2 people are here. Does anyone have anything they want to talk about in this chapter? We will, I will do a live on chapter 3 next week. I just hadn't gotten my November live schedule figured out. So I haven't put it up yet, but I will do a live on chapter 3 next week and then chapter 4. And then I'll probably do a Saturday live on what we've gone through so far. Yet to be scheduled, but I will post a schedule when I know, which requires me sitting down and figuring it out. Tracy is still journaling. Good for you, Tracy. I know journaling is your least favorite part of this. Journaling might be my favorite part because of my super special journal. But I took a page out of your book and I am using different colored tabs. I used the same colored tabs for chapters 1 and 2, and I found it confusing. So I am using different colored tabs. So that was good on Tracy. Well, not all of us have fancy little printers, which I wish I did, because I definitely would like to put a picture of my Significator card in here, but I don't have one of those little printers. So I'll just have to not and say I did. I did buy more stickers to put in my journal, though. I'm a sticker freak. I know, it's just not, yeah, I'll do it next paycheck. $19. Yeah, but that's for the thermal one, right? Not the colored one. You said you like the thermal one better. Do you find that they go all black like receipts, though, after a time? You use it way more. Okay. You've peer pressured me into it. I'll go buy one. Not today. I just spent more money on a Oracle deck that I don't need. Not so far. Good to know. Good to know. And I say I don't need it, but I do. Also, my friend made it. Gotta support the peeps. For those of you watching this and watching back, The Grief Journey Oracle by Marion K. Tarot. She features it on her channel. And also, I will be doing an unboxing and featuring it on my channel. And you can look it up on Instagram and YouTube, because there's plenty of walkthroughs already. It's a very cool deck. I'm very excited about it. So shouldn't complain too much. What else? I think I'm gonna hold this at two sprints, because chapter 2 is kind of short, and I'm gonna do chapter 3 next week, but I hope this gives people an opportunity to catch up. I know I get discouraged when I start a study and then I immediately fall behind. I've done that with every tarot deck study Lisa Papez does so far, and then I just don't complete it because I'm me. So I wanted to give people a chance to catch up if they hadn't gotten the book yet, or if life happened, or whatever. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining me, Tracy. You're a baller. You're also the reason I'm doing this, so I feel like you should be here anyway, because this is your fault. When in doubt, blame Tracy. It's probably her fault. She's a bad influence. And by bad, I mean good. But all right. I will see all of you next week, and I will put out a schedule. Bye, everybody. Oh, and like and subscribe if you haven't. Please do that. It does help me.